Hello there and welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to take some very basic examples to demonstrate the concept of variables. So for this, let's use a title. Let's use a input field and let's bring in a button. Okay. So that's going to be our layout, or these are the components which we are going to use. So as you can see, it shows up here. I really don't like the spacing. Let's select the canvas. Make sure you are selected the canvas and not the components. Let's go to styling and padding. And I'm going to use a nice, let's say 48 pixels. Okay. So as soon as I say save, it should, oh, sorry. I think it went to 0. Oh, okay. I'm not sure what I did there. Okay, never mind. Let's go ahead and change that to 48. Oh, I said clear values. Okay, got it. Okay, fine. Yeah, it's very possible to think of this as okay, but it is not okay. It's actually clear values. You need to click outside and you need to say save. Okay, there you go. So we have a text component. So as you can see in the properties, the text component is reading from this specific content. So whatever is written here, it's basically displaying that. Okay. So for example, if I say, instead of headline, if I say today, it's going to display that. And as you can see here, the moment I save it, it's going to say today. All right, there you go. It says today. So what if I want to change the heading, or basically change the text displayed here based on a variable? Now this could be for whatever reason, for example, username, or for example, it could be a selection made by the user. It could be various reasons. So I want this component to get its value from a variable. All right, let's get started. So now I'm going to go to my variables, and we have already created variables, app variables, and also page variables. So let's go ahead and use them. So let's go ahead and use the app variable first, and this is going to be available throughout the app. That's good enough. So in this app variable, this is of type text, which is good because we are binding it to a text component. So that's good, right? And here, this is the sample value just to help you. This is called the help value. This is not really displayed. And the last is actually the initial value. So this is very important, right? So I can go ahead and say something like, what is today? Today is Monday. Okay. So just for example, today is actually not Monday for me, but just for example. Okay. Let's say save. Now what I've done is I have created a variable. Rather, actually, we already have a variable called app var1 of type text. And the only thing I did was I initialized the variable's value to Monday. Okay, let's save this and let's go back to view and let's select the text component. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this functionality ABC, and I want to bind the information to that specific variable. Now you can see that you have various options. You have a static value, which is what we used before. You also can use data and variables, formula, and component properties. In this case, we want to bind this to a variable. So let's click on data and variables. And what kind of variable did we use? We used a app variable. As you can see, there are various variables here. Let's click on the app variable, and you can see that it's showing you the app variable, and you can say click on it. So you can select it and you can say save. Now you can see that it's showing Monday. From today is actually showing Monday. And what you actually see here is the help value. Okay. So where is this value coming from? This value is coming from, if I go back to variables, if I go back to app, that value is coming from here. So like, for example, I can just say for test purposes, Okay, and I can say save. Now when I say save, nothing is going to change on my app. As you can see, nothing has changed on the app. But if I go back to my view, you will see that instead of for test purposes, yeah, it should be test purposes. Okay. All right, there you go. So now it's showing for test purposes. I just reconfigured and reconnected it. So it read back again that help value, and now it's saying for test purposes. Now I'm showing this to you so that you are very clear with what is showing where for what purpose, right? So in this case, it's very clear. We have a app variable, and the app variable is of text type. And we have an initial value called Monday. Let me change it to, let's say, Wednesday, just to show you that what we're talking about. And then this Monday should change to Wednesday. Okay, there you go. And this value is bound to this text component, and that is how we're able to see the Wednesday here. All right, that's it. And you're seeing the for test purposes, that is called the help value, which comes from the variable's example value. Okay, this is not shown to the user. This is just to give the situational awareness for the developer. That's great. In this video, what we saw was how to associate a variable with a specific component. So the variable was already created and a value was given, and that was bound to a component. Now in the next video, let's see how to take a value from a user input and store it in a variable, and then how to use that information later on in other components and across the app. All right, I'll see you in the next video.